Hi guys. In this video, we're going to look at limits involving rationalization. Sometimes you have to rationalize the denominator, sometimes you're going to end up having to rationalize the numerator, and then you still need to do factorization in the end so you can actually simplify your answer. So off we go. The reason why we have to do this is direct substitution just flat out doesn't work, because if I go ahead and plug in 36 right there for x, and then I take the square root of 36, I get 6. So 6 minus 6 will end up with a 0 in the denominator. That's why direct substitution doesn't work in this matter. So we have to change this and simplify and do the rationalization before we can actually do the direct substitution. So, and it's going to look like this. So you're going to multiply by square root of x. You're going to change the sign 6. And whatever you do for the denominator, you do for the numerator also. So it's like when you multiply by the same thing, numerator and denominator, it's like you're multiplying by 1. So you're not really making stuff up. All right. So now from here, instead of doing the box and expanding and subtracting and distributing, we're just going to leave it like that. So for the numerator for now. So, and then I have square root of x plus 6. Then right here, it will be like doing the box. And then after you do a couple of them, you're going to be able to come up with the pattern. So I'm going to do the box right here off to the side, just because it's the first time you see something like this. Okay, so square root of x minus 6, square root of x plus 6. Square root of x times square root of x, you get x. Negative 6 times square root of x, you get negative 6 square root of x. 6 times square root of x is 6 square root of x. Negative 6 times 6, negative 36. Now you're going to combine like terms. Now I have x, negative 6 square root of x plus 6 square root of x. Negative 6 plus 6, that's 0. And then I only have negative 36 left over. So denominator is looking better with just x minus 36 right there. All right. So now what we're trying to do here, I can simplify these guys because they're the same. So x minus 36 divided by x minus 36, I get 1. So I have, this is my simplest form of this whole thing. So in reality, we're really trying to find the limit as x approaches 36 of square root of x plus 6. So at this point, I can do direct substitution because I will not end up trying to divide by 0 here. Now, the limit, so direct substitution here, you just have square root of 36 plus 6. This is 6 plus 6. So the limit of all of this will simplify down to be 12. Not too bad. Now, example 2, we're following the same idea, but it's a little more than just square root of this over that. We still need to rationalize the numerator in this case by multiplying numerator and denominator by x plus, attention to that, square root of 4x minus 3. And also x plus, because this was a minus, I have to change it to a plus. So square root of 4x minus 3. Okay. Now, when I multiply this, I want to go back to example 1 and point something out that you might have missed or didn't make the connection. So notice that if I'm trying to factor it out on difference of two squares, if this was x squared minus 36, x squared would have been a perfect square When I take the square root, I get x. When I take the square root of 36, I get 6. So when you factor it out, it would be x plus 6, x minus 6. But it's not x squared, but I can still take the square root of x. That's why from here, I go there, or from here, I go there. So this would be difference of squares from here, even though x is not a perfect square, but you can still take the square root and easily go from here there. And that's the same idea that I'm going to use for this guy right here without doing the whole box thing for you. Okay, so here I will square these guys. So x times x is x squared. A plus times a minus is going to be a minus. And then I will square the second one. Okay, multiply these two, that's the difference, and then you square because you're multiplying these two. And then in the denominator, I'm just going to leave it like that. X minus 1, x plus square root of 4x minus 3. Okay, now you know the square and the square root simplify. And then on the same step, this with this, that simplifies. Now the next step, I'm going to simplify or distribute the negative here. So I have x squared minus 4x plus 3. The denominator doesn't change. X minus 1, x plus square root of 4x minus 3. Now we need to factor the numerator. So let's factor the numerator. So x minus 3, x minus 1, because negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3, and negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. So I got that factored out. I have x minus 1. So my denominator is still the same until this point. Now I can simplify my rational over here, because x minus 1 I can simplify with x minus 1. And there's nothing else I can simplify. So in reality, I can find the limit as x approaches 1 of x minus 3 over x plus square root of 4x minus 3. At this point, if I do direct substitution by plugging in 1 for x, it would not give me 0 in the denominator. So let's do that. So 1 minus 3, 1 plus square root of 4 times 1 minus 3. I have negative 2 for the numerator. And here I have 1. Come on. Here I have 1 plus 4 times 1 is 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. Square root of 1 is 1. So 1 plus square root of 1 is 2. And then that simplifies down to negative 1. Voila, all this work to come down to negative 1.